Merry meet and welcome everyone. This is the Astro Tarot Show, and I'm your celestial host, Serona Rose. And this is December of 2022. We are getting ready to go into 2023, but I want to talk about some energy that has went on, some aspects, some events that has went on in our past year that has led us to where we are now. I know there's a lot of chaotic energy, and this is because we are going through a change, a transition. So I will say that this is some new energy that is coming, and this is why it's unstable. So, and I want to add, astrology, it shows us patterns. Okay, we see these alignments, these squares, so forth, these different aspects between the planets, and we look at them, and we don't look at them as in, okay, well, we know the moon, it goes through each of the signs. We get that. But every now and then we have one of our big planets, and when I say big planets means it has a lot of energy, heavy energy, and they have some kind of astrological event that is worth looking at. So, okay, wait a minute. Let's look at this, and then let's go back in time and what happened at this time. What happened in time back when that astrological event occurred. So we like to look at those so we can see these patterns that's happening. Now, for example, we've had major astrological events since about 2019, really. And we saw where a lot of that played out in 2020. And 2020 was like a highlight. It was like that big, it was boom kind of energy. Uranus really was highlighted, as well as Pluto, Saturn. Pluto was squaring Saturn, and then conjunct Saturn as well. So we had all these, as well as Uranus. We're just getting over the big Uranus Saturn square that we've been having, and that is Saturn, which is the older traditional kind of energy, versus Uranus, the new and the future. So this was really it was really influenced as well with Pluto, because Pluto also squared each of those, Uranus and Saturn. It was when Pluto squared Saturn, and then we had that big conjunction in 2019 to 2020. Well, it was the last part of that, when Saturn was breaking away from Pluto, that we saw the big pandemic of fear that happened, and that symptom was COVID. So we had that big pandemic of fear that happened, and when Pluto can tap into our fears, because we all fear the unknown, and when we have all of this Capricorn energy with Pluto, there is a breaking down of those stable foundations that have been known, and that have been stable in the past. And then when you have Capricorn, it represents our institutions, such as governments and those places of top power. So when you have Pluto move into that sign, Pluto destroys in order to create. So he is destroying that, everything that doesn't, okay, this isn't good anymore. This wasn't really working anyway. He exposes what is going on beneath the surface in order to break that apart, so we can build back more stable. So, it's kind of like, we have to be careful not to build our nice, pretty castle on sand. And this is where, we have what we've been learning. Now, Jupiter then came in, and Jupiter squares Pluto a few times, and he only does this like every 2 or 13 years. And then also he squared Saturn, and that is like every 20 years. So this is what is referred to as a grand mutation, which is it's a change. It's a change. So 2020, when we go back there, we can see that even our south node was in Capricorn. So that was, the south node is the past. It is the past. It is what we are coming out of, and our north node is where we are going. So we had the Jupiter square with Pluto about 3 times, then Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, and then then Pluto and Jupiter, and all of this. This was all of these different times that Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto were having some type of connection, some type of alignment. That is when there was a new wave of fear of that newness that was pushed through. Now, Saturn and Jupiter, they did have a conjunction in Aquarius in 2021, and this is really showing that it gave energy to that controlling. Remember, whatever Jupiter goes into, it enhances the energy. So we have Saturn, which is the father time. He's the one that sets the boundaries, but he can be oppressive. And we see how that played out, how that has still been playing out through the various forms of censorship. And and we're coming out of that, and we're coming out of all of this. It's like all the bottom is being dredged to the top. And we're seeing this on a big global scale. Excuse me. I'm still battling with this, so I do apologize. But I will say the Uranus and Pluto, their meeting, it connects us back to the 1960s, and that's really where they got the ball rolling. So that is, and of course we had Saturn and Uranus, and there was a lot of different stuff that has happened the past few years. So here we are now in December, and we are in the middle of December now, and we are here up on the winter solstice, and we are getting ready to begin a new year. We have new energy, and I'm going to talk about the year ahead, and probably the last show of this month I'll be talking about that. So let's get into more of December and what we can expect this month as we close out this year. So with this, this is a little bit of a continuation of November, as we'll see some things that are still dying out. We've been in a swirling of energy, and that's since 2020, January 2020. We've been in kind of this swirling, and it's almost like we're staying in this same cycle over and over, and it's almost like being stuck. It's like we are stuck there. We hear so many people say, I want to get back to normal, I want to get back to normal. We can't get back to normal because, number one, that time is over. We are here in the future. And now we have to look at, and this is when we go into the dark half of the year, this is where we begin to look and start doing our self-inventory, start looking at the decisions that we made. And that's what we did this past full moon. The full moon in Gemini was telling us to look at the past decisions and choices that we've made. And it's about taking on that self-responsibility that we have. There was a lot, there was so much of, let's see, through May and April March, April, and May of 2022, that put us on this path of never ending energy that we have been having to go through so we can see. This is about an unveiling. This is about everybody wants to say that, oh, it's the apocalypse, but the apocalypse is an unveiling. So we are seeing this upheaval, and we are seeing this change, and we are seeing what the pandemic of fear did to us. So we are seeing these strange events that have been taking place that's like, did you just see what I saw? Did you just see that? Did you hear that? So, and now we are moving forward, um and you know we are moving forward from that kind of stuck energy, and we're going to keep moving forward. And we're beginning to get out of that now. We started coming out of that in November, so now we're getting out of that. And December will be more of that movement forward, of beginning to move forward. But we have to understand that this is new territory, and it can be we can go back to fear very easy, and we can't. We're going to have to stand up. We're going to have to be strong, just as Lilith is standing strong there in Cancer, protecting the mothers, protecting the children, protecting the family. um, we have to also stand up and move forward and fix these things. And trust me, guys, all of this energy is not just going to pan out overnight. This is going to take years to unfold. So we are coming into this new territory, and we are moving rather quickly, even though Mars is retrograde in Gemini. We are still having this shift in energy. This shift is happening, and it's pulling us. It's, even though Mars is retrograde and he's going over this pull, this energy is pulling us to it. So it's kind of like riding that flow in on the river, just riding that natural current there. So we are tasked with, all of these things that were unclear, that we weren't sure of, that, well, you know what, maybe it's possible, but I'm not sure. But now those things are really becoming clear. We are having clarity on these things, and we must deal with this. We must deal with what is coming out. What is, when Scorpio dredged the bottom of the river, we are going to have to deal with all of the debris that has been brought up. And we have to sift through it. But yeah, we're going to have to move quickly through it, because we can't dwell on it. We have to fix it. We have to allow those problems not to happen again. We have to learn. So our task, we are going to be heavily tasked with leaving the past behind and moving forward into the future, and looking forward. It is brighter. There are many choices that are going to be there for us, but we have to actually move there. We have to go. Mercury is slowing down. He's preparing to go retrograde on the 29th of December. And we will talk about that, of course, when we get there. Now, Neptune is stationed direct on the 3rd of December. Chiron stations direct on the 23rd. That's just a couple days after the solstice, which is, I think this is really profound, because I think that from what I'm seeing with this, it's going to bring a lot of healing energy to us personally. Now, by the end of December, All of our outside planets, and this is not including Uranus, but the outside planets will, except Uranus, are going to be direct. So the outer planets are what is dominating this energy push of going forward. And it's trying to push us forward into this new territory. But as we're having to deal with this too. So, it's kind of like, when you're going through problems, just keep on going, don't stay and wallow. You know, fix them, learn to fix them. So, Jupiter, Neptune, Chiron, Saturn, Pluto, they are pushing forward and they're ready. On the 20th, Jupiter is going to move into Aries, and, slowly moving. He is slowly moving, but this is going to bring him to that push of energy that's really going to help us go forward. That's also going to help Mars as well. And he's going to be in this sign for about 5 months. Now, normally Jupiter is fast moving when he's moving forward, but it seems, when he's leaving Pisces again, because you remember he went forward, went into Aries, and he had to go back to Pisces, and now he's moving back into Aries. This is an end of a cycle. So he is leaving that past behind. He is, getting into this Aries energy that says it's time to go forward. It's time to move. We have to go. There's things to be done, right? And this is where he is. He's wanting to leave that old cycle behind and to begin this new one with clearer eyes and more clarity, more more awareness of the self, be more conscious of his outer world, more self-true, being true to the self. So this is one where we're really starting to see how that ill-willed, I don't like to call negative, because in our world we have negative polarity and it's needed, but like ill-willed energy, that energy that was put out there maliciously. So now Saturn will be the beginning of December. Saturn squared Uranus, and this was one of, now there are four degrees off, so they are beginning to, that square that was really impacting the old versus the new, that is separating. So that is going to start sizzling out, so to speak. By February of 2023, they'll be 11 degrees apart. So we are leaving that energy, and conflict should be going down. So it should start a settling down. Now, back on the 1st, the moon was in Aries, and before that, he passed by Neptune and Jupiter, and that was really triggering a lot of the illusions. That was a time where illusions were really, really strong. A narrative was being set, that sort of thing. And Neptune was also stationing. So when a planet stations, he's stronger because he's closer to the Earth. So that means that sense of getting lost in the dream, getting lost in our illusions, that is really felt at that time. We did also, on that day, we had Mercury square Neptune, which is conflict. That is about conflict, and Mars was a part of this square as well. So yeah, we can see where there was some upheaval that was happening, and we can see the with this aspect, with Mercury squaring Neptune, we can really see the expansiveness of the mind here, which is good when you're on an artistic endeavor, when you're trying to create, but it's really bad because it's not rooted in reality. And we're seeing a lot of things that are coming up that are not rooted in reality. And those things are going to start sizzling out as well. It seems that, we've had this struggle between philosophy being at odds with our fantasy. And we can feel like, what, there's something not right here. There's something off about this. And I know I felt it. I've talked to several people. It's like, I really felt off about some things. Something is not right. And it's just like, well, there's a number of things that are going on, but you may have been feeling that as well. Now, Mars is adding to this, and he's adding frustrations, and he can have us feeling like we're not going fast enough. We're not, something is not, we're having too many challenges. Too many things are standing in our way. And then also we had that trine between Mars and Saturn. Well, these I hate to call planets bad, but these two are very strong planets. Mars is our warrior, and we have Saturn, that's our father time, and he's like, no, this is enough. And when these two come together, this is some really, really heavy energy. And then when Venus came in, Venus is, she's about bringing the dream that we have here down to earth, and to make it work for us. So yeah, Saturn also, that was that trine, Saturn and Venus, Saturn trine Venus, and that was when, she was taking those dreams and that she had, and she's bringing them down to earth. She's been in Sagittarius, and we'll talk about Venus in just a second, but when Venus was in Sagittarius, she was really expansive in that. So Venus squared Neptune on the 3rd, and this brought some, this may have brought some conflict between our dreams and our reality. And this is focused on love and our relationships, money, our desires. So, we may have this, Neptune is our dreaming planet, and we have this idea of this perfect love, or the way that money is, and whatnot. But we have to bring that down to earth, to reality. And we are, in essence, as she is moving out of Sagittarius into Capricorn, she's starting to put those roots down and be serious, and taking on a serious note. Well, the sun is at 11 degrees of Sagittarius, and he was trine with Chiron, and this is about learning to heal, and this is also about what this conflict is, what's going on, what these challenges and so forth that's going on in our life, what lessons can we learn from them? The sun is really dancing right there in the galactic, oh my goodness, the galactic center, and this is really, really good energy. That is really good. Saturn is very expansive energy, and it allows us to go and to step forward, to see what we can do, right? So when the sun trine with Chiron, this is allowing our pain and allowing our challenges to teach us those lessons that they are there to teach us and to help us and to heal those things so that we can go forward. Mercury also squared Jupiter, and this is ungrounded thinking. Remember, Jupiter is very expansive. It's very expansive, and it can take things to the extreme. But as Jupiter moves into Aries, clarity is going to be had. Mars will be moving into Capricorn on the 6th, and thinking becomes grounded. So you are visiting after Mercury was visiting with that dreamy energy. He is now ready to ground, and he is ready to create. He's ready to take these thoughts and everything that he wants to do, those creative thoughts that he has. He's ready to ground them and to make them work. This is getting, he's getting serious. There's more planets that are starting to move into Capricorn, and it is taking the energy into more of a serious type of way. It's like, okay, we've had fun and we see what we've done. We've had these dreams, and now, okay, we know what we want. We know what we want to create. How can we bring that down to earth, into the physical? And Capricorn is an earth sign. So Capricorn is that stable energy, while Mercury is about air. Okay? That's uncertainty. And it's always thinking about right now. Whereas Capricorn is saying, okay, is this going to be sustainable for the long run? Is this going to be practical? Are we going to be able to use this in 2 years? Is this going to withstand the cycles of time until, it is time to change? Now, I will say that Mercury has had a loose square with Neptune that was really adding to that ungrounded, dreamy, unearthly type energy. But we can't stay there. Mercury, having anything to do with Neptune will take us to a pipe dream. It will take us to that utopia that we all dream of and we all want to come about. Now, when we had the full moon in Gemini, and it was at 11:08 a.m., that's Eastern time, the sun was opposite the moon, and this was and just minutes away from the moon was Mars. And this Mars retrograde in Gemini, that was about a story. It was about our story. And it's not necessarily the truth. That's the thing. It's a story that we tell ourselves. And we have to be careful of that. So we are, that is, as we are coming out of that, like I said, more clarity is going to be had. Venus also had a square with Jupiter before she moved into Capricorn. And she is seeing that it's time for seriousness as well. On the 9th, she made this move as she made this square with Jupiter. So as Jupiter is expansive and is giving her all of this beautiful energy, and it's like, oh, look, you can play with me. Here, the land of fun and happy. Venus is like, that's great. That's wonderful. And it's awesome to have fun. But there comes a time when we actually have to get serious. and we have to actually let our adult come out and do what the adult needs to do, which is about focusing that energy in order to create, in order to have that strong foundation to build upon. On the 12th, the sun sextiled Saturn, and that was very grounded energy, and that was helping us move forward. By the 14th, the sun squared Neptune and put us into dreamland again. So you see how this is like, it's like a continual, it's a back and forth kind of thing, because we're having to remember our dream, but also don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by something that may be too good to be true. On the 17th, Mercury trined Uranus, and this is a time that encourages mental breakthroughs. So if you have been mulling over something over and over again, this energy will bring that clarity to you. It will bring that clearer thought. And this change, this is a change that will be easy. It will be like a lightning strike. It'll be like, oh, Uranus is the lightning strike. So it'll be, oh, well, oh, okay. It's kind of like an aha moment. On the 19th, Venus squared Chiron and had a quincunx with Mars. Now, this energy will influence this kind of square can actually bring about some disappointment and hurt, that of this seriousness that we're coming into. We're coming out of the clouds, and we're coming down to the ground, and we could have some disappointment over something that we wanted to happen and it didn't happen. Hurt feelings could be here. And then Mars is adding that annoyance to that. And Mars in this aspect is posing obstacles for us to keep us from moving forward, and to keep us unfocused. So we're going to really have to, and that's on the 19th. So, this is something that we are still working on. We need to stay focused on where we're going. On the 20th, Jupiter moves into Aries. So this is a beginning of a new cycle. Jupiter in Pisces was very comfortable. He used to be Pisces planet. When Jupiter is in Pisces, he is able to expand and grow and allow that inner child to just, the sky's the limit kind of thing. And when he enters into Aries, he is allowed to grow now, and he is ready to go forward. And this is with enthusiasm. He's very happy. He's like, okay, I remember my dream. I remember my dream. And now I'm ready to make it happen. But I have to stay focused here. I have to stay focused, and I have to understand that these obstacles that come are trying to teach me something. They're trying to slow me down for a second and have me look at it a different way. So sometimes this can take us out of, not really remembering where we're going. We're just going. So be careful. Focus, focus, focus. And, try not to go too fast. This energy will want to go fast, because this is exciting energy. Jupiter's the joyous god, and Aries is that ignition. This is exciting energy. So by the 23rd, Jupiter will have a half square with Uranus, and this is an opening up and doing something differently. And that is really a theme that I'm seeing is we need to get serious. We need to do something differently. And we need to think about the long run and how this is going to be. On the 21st, the sun moves into the earth sign of Capricorn. So happy birthday, Capricorn. That will be at 4:48 a.m. Eastern time. Then it will square Jupiter. And this will be time, again, Get serious. Make things happen. Those things that are possible, make those things happen. We're looking for stability here. We've had our expansive time in Sagittarius. We've had our time to go after, to find our truth, to self-discovery, and now we are ready to get down to business. So this is, we are looking at what's going to last the long run. The winter solstice is on the 21st, that the light is reborn, and we are ready to go forward. But, we have to make sure that we are on solid ground. We have to be on that solid ground. On the 22nd, Venus trines Uranus, and which Mercury did. I spoke about that in the last time. And this is something unexpected but beautiful coming to us. So this is a good energy. This is very exciting energy again. But again, Uranus is that lightning bolt. It's exciting. But again, your Venus is going to need stability. So we're getting ready for our new moon on the 23rd at 5:17 a.m. in Capricorn. And that is going to be square Jupiter. So this is a practical versus excitement. So here we're having sort of this energy of Saturn and Uranus again, but in a different way. The planets, we're having a lot of planets that are in Capricorn. They want tradition. Capricorn is about the tradition. But it seems that, it's more of an updated tradition. Like a lot, especially around the holidays, we have these traditions that our families do. And, now we're seeing, things are changing. Times are changing. Getting people gifts on Christmas is kind of like, when I was a child, it was Christmas and our birthdays. It's the only time that we got presents. Nowadays, many people just get what they want whenever they want it. So we're going to, I feel like, especially with Venus so concerned and where Lilith has been, I really feel this is going to go back to not the surface and not buying gifts and consumerism. It's going to go back to family and traditions of the heart. And I think the heart is one thing that we really need to focus on with that. The winter solstice, the sun is reborn. And after this day, of course, the sun grows a little bit every single day. The goddess shows us our life in death aspect. And at this time, the feminine is called the white lady because of the snow, and it's the queen of the cold and darkness. So, at this time, she is giving birth to the child of promise. So this is going to be very, very good energy as we are ending all of this chaotic mess that we have been experiencing for the past few years, I'll say from 2019. And, there was some stuff that happened. I mean, we can go back to 2015 as well, that have caused a lot of these different chaotic instances to happen. But now we're seeing where playtime is over. It is time to focus on a course of where we are going, where we want to head. We need to make sure that this is going to last for the long haul. It's time to, get out of this dreamy world and come down to earth and create it in reality and physically. We're looking at relationships, love, money. It is time to look at where we invest our love, our money, our time, and our energy. We are looking at things in a different way. So yeah, we are having to update. We are going through a change. And guys, it just, hold on. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and we just have to keep going. We have to keep going and not get sidetracked into the illusions that are playing out before us. We have to see the bigger picture. And that's one thing that we've been hearing in astrology is, number one, to get to know yourself, know who you are, know what you believe, know what you love, know what you value. And number two, get serious with yourself. Stop letting people and things or these events that are caused railroad you. There's an illusion that's taken place, and we have to say, you know what, that's okay, but here we are. How can we make it better? And how can we go forward? We don't want to stay here anymore. So that is it for the astrology section of the AstroTarot show. Please stay tuned for the tarot part. There's a lot of more information that I do want to talk about, and I will be doing some more recordings about this energy that is going on, because I really want to talk about the winter solstice and what this means to us, personally and astrologically as well. So I'll see you back in a few minutes.